Melissa, and today I'm speaking to the beautiful Aishwarya Majmudar, who's a singer from Gujarat. She's sung folk music as well as Bollywood songs, and she's been doing this since the age of 15 years old. And I'm so excited to welcome her to the show today. You began your career at a very young age. How did those experiences shape your music today?
Wow. I did begin really, really early, and that was, I guess, the greatest blessing, if I could say that. Everything that I've done in music has been a journey, so it's built itself while it was on the go. When I started off, I never, or my parents never ever really focused on it as something that I could probably consider to have as a profession. And I guess when you go with that approach, you do it for the love of it, you learn it for the love of it, you want to you just want to be happy while you're doing it, and that creates a kind of satisfaction, and that cycle just turns around and around, and eventually it reaps you the the version of you that you look at and go like, oh wow, when did that happen? So I guess all of that put together, and then you, because you're doing it for the love of it, the experiments come naturally, the risk taking comes naturally, and you do it because you only know that way, so you don't know any other way. That's what you do. So it's been beautiful, really. I like the challenge. They have been probably the greatest, thickest, strongest, most loving supports ever. Without that presence in my life, I don't think I would be anywhere. And they have themselves learned classical music in India. They grew up around a lot of music. They used to sing beautifully. Like, I could say that over and over again. And you reach a point in your life when you take a decision of whether you want to work or you want to take up music as your profession, and they both chose otherwise. My mom's a master's in communications, and my father's an engineer, and he's doing his thing, mom's doing her thing, but their root, or what brings them together, is also music. And I guess that was the one seed that has been sown in me, and ta-da. And I guess because of that, they never ever thought that this isn't something that I could not take up, or they never considered that, oh no, of course she's got to study, but if this is what she enjoys doing, then let her do that. Let her put all of her energy, let her put her focus in that direction, so she can thoroughly be the best version of her in that particular field or of art. So.
And how has your relationship changed with your own voice, as your voice would have evolved from a child singer to an adult singer?
This is a question that nobody's ever asked me, and thank you for asking me this. I'm going to enjoy answering it. I remember, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago, I was listening to one of my very first audio recordings, and you generally are in a position where you'd like, what would today's me tell my maybe 10-year-old self? And I would try to tell her that don't worry, you're gonna make it through, and you're strong, and you'll be able to do it. In fact, for me it was quite the contrary, because when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, how did I do that at that age, and now I have to compete with that? And it was a little bit it made me a little restless for a minute, because I was overwhelmed with the kind of focus and dedication I think I put in at that age. And I thought that somewhere, as you're growing up, there's so many distractions. You sometimes move around the place, and you're experimenting also, you're questioning a lot of things in your life, and I won't say derail, but I can't find a better word. So you're half on the rail and half not, and then those are the moments that have actually helped me get back on track and drive in a more sustainable and a consistent manner. So I'm just using that as a metaphor, but really my younger self inspires me and motivates me more than anybody else in the world. And I guess that relationship with my voice, my singing style, my abilities, and of course when you're younger, there's a lot more time and energy that you give to the learning. Of late, it's all about what I know. I'm showing it off to the world, but there's always going to have to be some time that you dedicate to the learning. So, all of that is what I guess gets rebuilt when I listen to my music from the past. And oh, how beautiful that is.
And apart from your own parents, which artists have inspired you musically?
A lot of them. A lot of them all over the world. And sometimes it's not just only musicians that help you get, stay stay on track, be focused, and stay disciplined. Really, really important point. So I guess it's people around the world. Sports, especially. A lot of sports personalities have been a great inspiration because that also takes up a lot of dedication and a lot of discipline. And they say it so nicely that you won't always be motivated, so you need to always be disciplined. So these are the things that people who have put into practice, put into their real lives, that you look at and you go like, oh wow, that doesn't happen overnight. And I have been through it, so I set myself as one of my own greatest examples in times of distress, or when you're just generally tired of things around you, and you're like, why even do I do this? Like, why even do I do so much, put in so much effort? But that's when you look back, and that you do it because you love it, and they do it because they love it. And every other musician or every other artist, every other like Michelangelo, I'm a really huge fan of his. To be sleeping on like right next to the ceiling, I probably look funny right now, but think about them. They imagined it, they created things. That's more inspiring than anything else. And they didn't get distracted by people commenting on anything about them or their craziness. Somebody very nice said something very nice about music. What does it really stand for? So MUSIC, mind under semi-insane consciousness. It's pretty profound, right? So I thought I resonated to that. And
everyone knows you as a Garba performer, but is there a side of you as an artist that's undiscovered by the public?
There's a lot of them. So honestly, I never really started off with the singing Garba. I started with Hindustani classical music. Then came the traditional, typical Bollywood music. After Bollywood came this little phase where I started singing Gujarati Sugam Sangeet, which not a lot of people know about anymore, but it's a very vast classic sort of music genre. And after that came Garba. And I actually sing in 22 languages, which I barely ever get to sing in anymore because I'm always doing Garba. But there's that. Apart from that, I act a little bit, which I haven't really gotten enough time to pursue. And beyond that, I also write a lot. So I've written 2 books in the capacity that they would then eventually turn into web series. So I've done that. And 2 are fiction and 1 is non-fiction. So there's a lot that I want to do. I'm creating a musical right now. At the moment, I'm working on it. So it's going to be fun.
So you kind of led into this question because you said that you can sing in 22 different languages. Do you feel that your connection to a track changes depending on the language that you're singing in?
Definitely. When you do understand the language even a little bit, it's a lot more fun to sing it, because then you have more emotion that you can put into it, and you have little things that you can do yourself, and you're not really only dependent on the person who's translating for you, and you don't have to keep on asking that, do you think I can emote like this, or can I take a variation here, or can't I? When you know the language, you just know that, okay, this is a spot I can decorate. So yeah, when you do know the language, it's more fun.
You also sing in many different genres. Is your approach to the track different depending on whether it's devotional, folk, or a film song?
My mum taught me when I was young, when you're singing a song, become the song. So every song's going to have a character, a character energy that you need to project. And you need to become the song in order to understand what does the character want to put out there, what does she or he want to portray, and how do they want to be seen. So if you become the song, automatically the song is the one that's going to take over, and then um, you're just I can think of the word in Hindi, but I can't think of the word in English. You become the.
You can say it in Hindi.
I can say it in Hindi. आप निमित्त बन जाते हो. That's the one.
There we go. We've got you speaking another language on the interview.
Oh, I can speak in a couple languages.
When you started your career, social media was virtually undiscovered. And in fact, even if social media was there, I think you would have been too young to be on it. Do you feel that now you're having to create trendy songs instead of the traditional folk songs?
I think it's the correct thing would be to find the right balance between both of these. My choice is always going to be to create traditional music, but that said, I do also enjoy the trendy music. What I really find pressurizing is making reels. It is so exhaustive. So yeah, I mean, that happens. You got to move with the times, and you got to do what you got to do. But I feel old sometimes. Don't say that to anybody.
So I almost feel really strange asking you this question, but as the traditional folk songs, do you think that in this day and age, it is better to now create them with new beats so that it can connect to the younger audiences and they almost feel like these songs are cool?
Definitely. It's more about the sound is what I've come to learn. Back then, I mean, even if you play any old Bollywood song at any point, there will be a certain sound that you're listening to. It's not stereo, it's not as clear, it's not as clean, sometimes it's too sharp. So that happens because of the technology that they had back then. Now we have stunning, fantastic technology, extraordinary recording devices, and even better transmitting devices. So when you're listening to it on the best speaker system, on the nicest headphones, you're used to listening to music in a very surround sort of environment, and you get so used to it that when you listen to anything with an oldish tone or with a certain frequency, you don't like it anymore. Which is why it is a lot of fun to recreate the old songs and make sure to keep the essence from back then alive, and only make sure that it reaches them for the purpose of the sound, for the purpose of the new music that they're used to listening to. But the way this generation, the generations even after, I have nieces and nephews who are like 4 and 5, and they listen to these old songs and the recreated ones, and they feel like it's so cool. It's such an amazing song. I mean, they probably won't know until a while that that's actually a very old song. But when they do, they'll be able to appreciate the old song also just as much. So I guess that connectivity, or the bridge that we get to create, is in itself such a blessing. So yeah.
So you're performing in the UK for the first time as a solo artist, and you have been performing for years. How do you make sure that year on year you change the set to make it relevant for the people coming back to watch you, even if they are your biggest fans?
Well, that's the thing about Garba. The reason this music has made it is because of how much they love the repetitiveness of it. So sometimes I find myself in a space or a spot where I want to put out new songs over there, and I find it difficult because everybody loves to listen to the old traditional Garba songs, and you just feel like, yeah, right, you got to do it because that's what they're looking for, that's what they want. And I do sometimes want to sing some songs which I can't quite put out there because, well, they want to listen to the old ones. But that's okay, because as long as the music is alive, we're happy with it. And this is the one music I have never ever gotten bored of singing. Like, I'm not done singing it ever. The number of times I've sung it, the number of times I rehearse it even, I can sing the whole song over and over again, and I'm never ever tired, never bored.
Everyone knows you as a Garba performer, but is there a side of you as an artist that's undiscovered by the public?
We were rehearsing a couple of weeks ago, and we realized that we have a couple of songs that we should be creating for these spots in our set list. And instantly, 5 or 6 of us, we gathered in a little bit of a round circle, and we round circle, excellent. Points for me. We sat together and we started making this song, and in about 20-30 minutes we had a whole new song, lyrics, arrangement, everything put together. We practiced it a few times, we recorded it, and now we're working on the final polishing bits of it, and we're really excited to put that out. Now that's just a fun song. We also did a Mahakal song because that's an emotion that reaches anybody. Plus, it's got a lot of power, and it wakes you up. It's that kind of music. So it's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out this year, which people don't know about.
You are from Ahmedabad, so I want to ask you, if someone was to visit Ahmedabad for the first time, where is the one place you would either take them or a dish that you would introduce them to?
I would definitely take them to this restaurant called Agashier, which is at one of the most iconic buildings. It's a very 150-year-old home, which has now been converted into a hotel. And they have this beautiful Gujarati thali restaurant, and I will recommend it to everybody going to Ahmedabad. So I prefer the lunch time because it's my time of the day to eat. But if you can eat at night, their dinners are better.
Oh wow, so if I ever come to Ahmedabad, you are going to have to take me to this place to try this food.
ओरिया वे तो तने बात कहूँ खानगी, ओरिया वे तो तने बात कहूँ खानगी, तू गरम मसालेदार खाटी मीठी वानगी, गरम मसालेदार खाटी मीठी वानगी.
If your voice was a flavor, what flavor would it be and why?
If my voice was a flavor, I guess it would be a vanilla, because then you can it's plain when it needs to be, and you can mix it up with anything.
And finally, before I let you go, what is that one Gujarati word that you overuse all the time?
I say it too many times. I say it all the time. I say it when I'm happy, I say it when I'm sad, I say it sometimes when I'm in the bathroom. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure, really. Thank you. Thank you for having me.